Alright, we're gonna be getting started here soon. Just gonna post that I'm live to a couple of the social platforms, and then we'll get into it from there, so just give me a minute. Give me 1 second while I switch off for just a little bit. Alright, so hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, here to save you from your art sins. Welcome back to another art stream where we do art and we talk about art and we just hang out and have a good time. As per usual, this is a co-working space where I just put on some music, I draw, and hopefully it is a little bit of accountability for you to just get in a little bit of drawing every week. And of course, there's always a lot of other artists out there, so if you guys ever need recommendations when I'm not live, because I don't stream every day, only once a week right now, let me know in the comments and I'll hook you guys up with some people that I enjoy watching, and or some friends that I have that stream that are also fun to watch. So just let me know. But anyways, how's everyone doing tonight? And yeah, let me know if you can hear me. So yeah, how's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, we're gonna be drawing. Went over that stuff. If you're new here, I am a artist, a writer, and a musician, and I create comics, illustrations, and art prints. I sell both at art shows and online. If any of the stuff that I do seems interesting, then feel free to subscribe, check out my newsletter, and check out some of my work. I have some comics that I've completed, some that are ongoing, so just check the links in my bio and find out a little bit more about that. So first off, welcome in Maya. And I won't be staying too long, just popping in to say hi. Well, hello. I hope you're doing good. And everything in life is going alright. I know a lot of things are happening, but we're going to be focusing in on positives and art is something that's always important, especially when you are feeling down and dark times. It helps us. Oh, I'm so sorry, Maya. In my mind, I was jumping in between the two, and I hadn't said it in a while, so thank you for correcting me on that. I apologize. But yeah. Art can get us through some of the more difficult things, and it's a way for us to process, our emotions, our surroundings, just everything that's going on. So, yeah, hopefully you guys continue to maintain some of that spirit and can get to some drawing every week or whenever you can. That drawing should never be a pressure thing. It should be a pressure relief. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about what's going on here, what I'm working on, and then we're gonna hop into it. This is going to be probably a more focused session from my part, because thumbnailing comics is very intensive. Right now I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to be doing, so I should be able to do some of this work in real time live, but Um, there is usually when I do thumbnails, I'm just like have some song on repeat, which I kind of do right now, and I try to just get into the zone. Okay, so anyways, I guess I can show off a few of these pages and whatnot. But my process right now is to create a whole bunch of just panels where I'm just focusing on the posing and the camera angle, and then I'll take those poses that I've come up with and I try to put it into a page layout, and then I try to add in the text and dialogue as well, so we can kind of understand and see what's going on. And then as you can see, it's very rough and loose poses and gestures and stuff. Like, we will do a cleanup and make it look good later. What we're trying to do right now is trying to do all the problem solving. What characters need to be where, how do they need to look, and what is the flow of action, what is the dialogue. You're trying to make sense of the entire story, and so you don't want to be committed to pretty artwork yet, because if you make something too pretty, you're not going to want to get rid of it. And this stage is all about trying I shouldn't say as many ideas as possible, but you may need to rework stuff, so you need to be very non-married to the stuff that you're working on and your material. So that's just a little bit of that. I will make like an official like thumbnailing tutorial maybe in the future if people are, interested in that kind of thing, but that's kind of like a little bit of the gist of what I think about as I'm doing some of this stuff. And it is extremely helpful to have a community of artists to fall back on and ask for help, advice, and things of the nature. Okay, so that's that. Also, this is a sketch that I'm working on for a character named Ace from a series called One Piece. And he is working on his little ship. So I might work on that a little bit today too. We're just going to see what kind of happens. Okay, so I'm going to take a look back in on the chat real quick. Also, that buzzer in the background, that's a timer for me. It's going to go off every 5 minutes, and it's basically a reminder of I need to move on to the next panel, or I need to do the next thing. And sometimes that kind of helps me stay in the flow, or not in the flow, but in a rhythm. Because sometimes I can start to get stagnant and work on a panel or something too long, and that can be an issue while you're thumbnailing. Okay, Maya says, in my mind, there are no dark times. The world is darkness. That is, the world has always been in a dark time. That is very true, and the pessimist in me resonates with that. And I just learned a new phrase. I've always been this way, but apparently there's a word for it, but it's called I think it's called a tragic optimist, where you see reality for what it is, but you still have, I guess, like a sense of like hope, or a sense of like good, or a sense of, I shouldn't even say good, because I just, maybe just a feeling of what you want to do, because good is very ambiguous, and also right and wrong can be a little bit ambiguous as well. But yeah, I probably fall into the tragic optimist camp a little bit. Now let me make sure I understand an existentialist, because I know I've had existential crisis before, but does that mean you're like always in that state? Existentialist. Okay, so this is what I'm getting from a quick gathering. Existential thinkers acknowledge suffering in the world and imagine a better way. Existential thinkers tend to value the quality of relationship rather than status and competition. Yeah, I would probably fall in that camp as well. Yes, I would fall in that camp as well. Okay, so I kind of got some introductions, things out of the way. I'm always here to answer questions if you guys have questions, but I think I'm going to try to kind of get into a little bit of a groove and a zone, so you may not hear me blabbing, which, might be a good thing, can help you focus in on your work too. But yeah, like I said, I'm always here to answer questions or just talk about anything really, if people are so inclined. It means, I believe, the world has no inherent meaning and you have to create meaning. I agree with that as well. Which, that seems like maybe a better definition than what I read out loud. I will definitely do a little bit more research into it, but I do find that every person kind of needs to go on that journey, and art is kind of a way to kickstart that. At least for me, art became a way to self-reflect and break myself apart and start to analyze what makes me me in a way. And so in doing so, you start to have to craft a meaning and a purpose for yourself and the world that you perceive. And I think it's kind of important to do though, because that gives you like a really good internal compass and a sense of, I don't know, I guess self like assurance or self security. I don't know, I'm horrible with words, but I would imagine that I fall in maybe a similar camp as well. To me, art is a religious practice because it involves communion with what you can't control, your subconscious. Okay, so for you, you're bringing out, representing your subconscious with your art. You're tapping into that. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, art can be so many things. But I was thinking the other day, if some people can't do art if they don't have a certain sense of like openness of the mind, flexibility of the mind. And this was just a thought that I had. I'm not saying that this is true or not. I was just pondering and wondering, like, can you create art if you're too rigid in your mindset or your beliefs? And I'm pretty sure the answer is probably still yes, but kind of talking about this subconscious part is also interesting as well. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to kind of talk through this first thumbnail here real quick. So what we're doing right here is we're having this character. They're charging onto scene. They're charging into this flying slash. This is very like shonen-esque, by the way, this little mini comic that I'm doing. There's going to be moments of like other things in here, elements of different types of storytelling, but we're in like this action sequence, and so we're kind of leaning into that right now. So anyways, there's a flying sword slash, and this dude's charging into it. And this is a really hard thing for me to just show visually, because I want to show that one character is sneaking past as this person is distracted by this flying sword slash. And so I've been thinking of ways to show this. Okay, one thing I think I know I want to do is that I want to draw focus lines leading to this character in the background, because he is like sliding past him, and so I want to show that movement. And that he is like looking back. I think living can be art. You could make your life a ceremony. Rigidity would get in the way. You don't need to be artistic or particularly creative to make living artful. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by the last one? You don't need to be artistic or particularly creative to making living artful. And I don't ask that to, I'm just curious, you know. Sometimes I like digging in a little bit deeper rather than imagining that I understand what people are saying, because I think it can lead to like interesting conversations. So I don't mean that in the any kind of, I don't know, like, oh, like, what do you mean by that? I mean, I'm like genuinely curious to just like open up the conversation further. If you mind explaining, if you have the time and the energy. Okay, so he's gonna be sitting here. He's like, great, I got past. We need this. So we're gonna add in this text. Would it be past, as in P-A-S-T? Past refers to time. Pass, like you pass somebody. I made it pass, or made it past. Okay, so old dude's thinking this. Okay, so it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Looking up at him, then we get a little bit slower down. Da-da-da. We're reading left to right, so we want the left to right movement to keep on reading. So I might flip that panel horizontally, moving him to this side. And I probably want the character to be going that way, which means I would need to flip the top one as well, which might be fine. Okay, so let's try some things out. So this is what I mean by like thumbnails need to be messy, because you're really figuring things out. So we're gonna get rid of that one, and then we're gonna grab this guy and Control T. We're gonna flip that like that. Well, maybe I don't want to mirror that. Do I want to apply the transformation? I'm going to say yes for now. Okay, then we're going to take this panel and we're going to flip this horizontally as well. Control T. And I can't stress enough that like I am very much you know, someone that's still learning about comics and layouts and things like that. So what I do to help me is I try to do, you know, a couple pages on my own, and then maybe I'll study a page or two, then I'll do a couple more pages on my own. And I'm constantly thinking about what are my struggle points? What am I having difficulty drawing and creating? Past, I think. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking as well. So I'm kind of like going back and forth between like, yeah, drawing, feeling good about myself, this and that. And then I'm like, dang, I'm struggling. What is it that I need help with? Write it down. Try to do practices where I struggle. Am I getting a better understanding of how to pace things into action? And it's tough. Like this type of work is tough to get down and for it to be intuitive, but you have to start and you have to feel confident from the jump that you're going to learn the stuff. And you have to just feel confident about what you're doing in general to make it fun. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and switch this song to something slightly different now. But I do like to, you know, replay something over and over again to get into that kind of trance state. I think that allowing yourself to be open to personal change and paying attention to and appreciating small details around is what you do to make living art. And I think so too. I think that's a beautiful way to put it. I really want to be better at paying attention to the smaller details. I'm very detail oriented, but I don't know. Sometimes I kind of want to appreciate life more. Sometimes it feels like I may be stuck in kind of like an emotional state or a certain way. And I do feel like part of that is like the working a job, a 9 to 5, and you have to do a certain kind of thing over and over again, and you have to have that kind of patience, and so then you lose that ability to, because people consider it being distracted, you know, focusing on like smaller details and like texture and just feelings of life in general. But okay, anyways, I'm probably theorizing and talking too much. I probably should focus a little bit. Okay, the openness to change is like the malleability of clay or paint, and paying attention to detail is like creating intricacy. You make your experience art. Okay, okay. I see what you're saying. I think they'll learn. I like how you made that like analogy is like the malleability of like clay or paint. And art is like transformative a lot of the times, where it starts in one state and ends with another state. And with that analogy, I can see like that comparison, and maybe that's not where you're going with it, but you know, the transformation, the journey, the change from one state to another as a person, being in art is a cool thing to think about. Okay, so that means I need to flip this top panel as well. So let's do that too. So we're going to grab our selection tool. I'm thinking of how landmarks form over time and then crumble away. I got you, I got you. Come on. One thing that I'm thinking about, like as I'm doing this, is just the overall composition of things and how things are like overlapping, and the overall sizing and relationship that these things have with one another. Gotta go. I'll bring the cosmic philosophical energy back into the chat another time. Okay, well, have a great night, evening, morning, day, wherever it is. that you are, and thank you for bringing that philosophical energy. I like that vibe for this channel. We like to be introspective here. We like to think about things. So thank you for hopping in. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Okay, so this might be like a challenge, but I want to show that this guy is moving forward. Right, charging even. Okay, we need to do a little bit of fine detail work here. So what we do, we don't need to get too crazy with it. thank you for the subscription. Color BW Rainbow. I don't know if you're here for the live stream or you just subscribed in general, but in either case, we get notifications, so thank you, thank you. Okay, let's try to be artistic about this layout. We're gonna try to combine all this action into one fluid panel layout this time. So let's give that a go. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a vertical shot with some bleed. So we're gonna do the life, so there, it's gonna calculate everything, guys. So something like this. Pretty vertical in nature, a little bit horizontal. We're gonna get this shot of him doing that. And then we're gonna do one swooping motion like this. Which gets wider and then tapers out like that. Okay. deselect. And then I do white stance. Okay, and this is where it's gonna get interesting, or at least more fun. So we're gonna keep that same loop and go like this. Alright. think I like that series of panels. Now we just need to show the last kind of like reaction, what kind of comes after it. Okay. This is pretty dramatic, so I'm gonna want to use like a whole page for this next thing that I'm trying to do. I think we're gonna do like a panel like this at the bottom. Okay, so I think I might go ahead and start wrapping up there. Definitely a lot more work to be done, and as I'm looking through and reviewing these pages, I'm just seeing what I would like to change, and kind of want to change a little bit of this because I'm kind of showing the impact, and you usually show like right before or right after, and I don't know if that panel itself is that effective, especially how it jumps from that to then the standing pose where he's shaking off and then going back in for like a full swing. But yeah, I think I know what I want to do on the second page. I might do like a 2-page spread kind of deal. So let me actually do that, at least sketch it out before I go. Hopefully you guys are kind of learning a little bit of the approach though and what we're kind of doing here. So yeah, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go to this. We're going to create a duplicate of this. So we're going to first save it. Actually going to see what save duplicate as a Clip Studio format looks like. 340, okay, we'll do 347. Alright, so we saved the duplicate out, and now I'm going to open said file. Okay, we can just get rid of all that, put this in this text folder and get rid of all that as well. Big explosion right here. And I don't know how we will exactly show it, but we're going to try our best right now to try to make it energetic. This is something that we're going to need to learn how to do. Slightly tilted around. That is my bad. I have forgot to put it back onto the live stream. Okay, so anyways, we're going off of this action movement up into this devastating panel. Okay, and I think we're gonna go ahead and close down kind of here, and we'll pick up at another time, but I want to thank you guys for joining in and having some fun as a co-working spot, and You can find me streaming every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, and we do stuff like this. We work on comics, we work on illustrations, we work on music, and yeah, we kind of get it done together, and I show you basically all of the steps. It's something that I wish I kind of had learning comics and art in general. So hopefully this is kind of like a little bit of demystifying a lot of things for not just like, you know, illustrations, but a little bit behind the scenes of, you know, how to do things from imagination and from scratch. So if you've followed my journey for a while, you'll know that, you know, doing this stuff from imagination used to be a lot more difficult and challenging, and I can a little bit better come up with poses and stuff even without reference. So every little bit of practice goes a long way, and that's why we try to do this every week and have this accountability type of thing, so that way you can improve in your journey. And it's not linear. You know, some days you'll feel like you've improved a lot, but to be quite honest, you're not going to really realize that improvement in a matter of days. You're going to see that over years. So keep drawing, and then, you know, as a year goes by, take a look at your old work and see how it has changed and progressed and what you've learned. Try to keep track of those things. Try to keep a journal, write things down, how you think about art, and you'll be surprised about, you know, the kind of growth and changes of mindset that you have along the journey. So that being said, I hope you guys had a fun time watching me draw and really just doodle this time. But if you're interested in learning more about this stuff, again, follow me on my newsletter and check out my website. You'll be able to see all kinds of updates there. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great night, a great rest of your week, and let's keep on keeping on. All right, peace, love, and deuces.